Hello everyone, today we'll look at how to draw arcs, rectangle, ellipse and polygons in AutoCAD as well as donuts. So we will start with the uh, polyline tool. So we have already discussed the line tool. So I'll show you what are the benefits or the advantages, disadvantages we have from the polyline tool first. We take the ACAD template. Now polyline is a combination of lines, so it has more than one line. So when you draw some objects from a line tool, so I just draw an arbitrary object, close this. When you click on a line, you will get three grippers. These grippers can be used to take the line out like this or extend the line length. So if you want, you can click on this gripper and take this again to the original positions. So this will allow me to lengthen and shorten the lines. So when you click come near the gripper, it will be in the green color. When you click it, it will be in red color. So this if you don't like this blue color, we can change the settings of the software and make it another color. So if I go to options here, this is under selections, we have selection tool. So this is the grip. If you want, you can change the size and even the colors I can change. So if I come here and select this one yellow, and I have increased the size, now when I check this, it's in yellow color. So when you come here, it will be green, it will be red now. So these settings can be easily changed and customize the software as you wish. So I have these options. When you select it, it will be red color. So these are the options available in the software. So we will go back to the settings, go back to the drawing. So now I showed you the grippers. Now when you look at the circle has more than three grippers. So it has circumference grippers which can be used to change the diameter, and the center gripper. So this center gripper can be used as the holding point and change the location of the circle. So when you want to delete something, you just click on this and press the delete button, or there's an erase tool available here. So we normally don't heavily use the erase tool. Erase tool can be also used, otherwise use the keyboard delete button. So now if you draw the same thing using polylines, what is the difference we can observe? Now I'll draw a similar object. Now this is done from a polyline tool. So you can see when I select it, every line is going to be selected. Here it's not that way, it's only this one. So if you want to delete this line only, it cannot be done easy. So if I want to delete this, everything will be deleted. And the grippers are also different. The corner grippers are usual squares, but the middle gripper is a rectangle. So when I try to drag it from the grippers, you can see it's not going to detach. Here it's detaching, and we can again attach it. Here that is not the case. This is like a group or a bundle. It's acting as a block, so you cannot detach this. And another advantage is here is you have this rectangle middle gripper, which allows you to stretch the drawing. Now it was detached, and it will allow you to add the vertex like this. And if you it allows you to convert this to an arc shape view. So if you want, you can take the line back. So when you click on these middle grippers, you can add another vertex and convert to an arc. So this can be converted back to a line. So you have some facilities available in the polyline which was not available in the normal line. And but if you want to delete something here, it's not available. So if you want to delete this, you should break this polyline into pieces. That is, you should explode this polyline into lines. So there's a tool called explode in AutoCAD. You just select the item and run this explode command. Now it has been converted to a line. Now you see the middle gripper becomes a normal square shape. So I can delete this. Now this is acting as lines, but mind you, you cannot unexplode the thing. This is only one way operation. If you explode anything, you cannot take it back easily. So you have to redraw the things or undo the things. Okay, so I hope you understood the difference between line and polyline. So polyline has some advantages, but the editing is somewhat, if you want to delete some segment, polyline is not very good. Then you have to run the explode command and explode the polyline into lines. Now we'll look at the next tool, the arc tool. So when you look at the arc tool, there are a lot of methods. Actually 11 methods are there. You look at the circle tool, 6 methods, line tool, 1 method, polyline, 1 method, here 6, here 11. So if you have a lot of methods, that means software is giving a lot of support to you. So don't be afraid or don't be scared. You have to remember all these things. Nothing like that. When you do some work or when you practice with the software, automatically you will remember these tools. So 11 tools are there, but if you look at it carefully, you have only they have grouped into 4 major areas. This is first group, this is second group, third group, fourth group, fifth. You have 5 groups actually. So these 3 are acting similarly, these 3 are acting similarly, these 3 are acting similarly. So if I just start with the first one, 3-point tool. So the idea is you have 3 points available to draw an arc. Say some example. If I want to draw an arc going through this point, and this point, AutoCAD supports you using 3-point method. I can just select these points and draw an arc. So this can be actually typed by coordinates. So if you look at our slides, we have used the coordinates here. So if you want, you can use absolute coordinates or just use the existing drawings, existing points, and get the 3-point arc shape. And you have another one called start, center, end. So if I just draw a diagram and explain you, if I want to draw a simple rectangle, we can use this inference in lines and draw a rectangle. So I want to draw a arc here. So one way is you can draw a circle, like 2-point circle, and delete this part. Run the trim tools and delete this unnecessary text. That is one way, but it's not fast. It's not a faster method. So if I want to use the direct arc tools, it's available here. Start, center, end. So you have to give the starting point of the arc, center point of the arc, then the end point of the arc. So I can give the starting point. Center point, I have to use the center snaps, that is midpoint snaps, and draw the other end point. Get the other end point. So if you start from the top part, what will be the shape of the arc? Start, center, end. Start, center here, end. You see it's coming in the other way. So I have to have the arc this side. So it's coming, always it draws in the counterclockwise direction. So if you want to change the direction, there's a tool available here called hold control to switch direction. So you can press the control button and hold the change the direction and click it. So remember, press the control button to change the arc shape, so arc direction. So I will redo this. Start, center, end. If you start from the bottom, there is no problem. This side draws. It draws, but here it's drawing the other side. Reverse the side. You cannot reverse from the mouse. You have to press the control key and reverse it and click. So read the commands coming command line here. Then you don't need to remember everything. Just read the command line. Then we have these three are similar because we have to give the start in center, start in center, start in center. Only the last parameter changes. Earlier I gave endpoint, now I can give an angle. So if I want to draw a 30-degree arc, this method is not supported. So if you want to draw an arc about 30 degrees, 45 degrees, this method is ideal. So I just use this start, center. Now I should give an angle. So if I just give an angle, say 45, this is my arc shape. So this angle is now 45 degrees. So you can change the control the angle and change the arc size. Then we have another method, start center length. So the length idea is, so here for every method we have given exercises, so you can do some exercises at home. So if you look at the tutorial number 3, we have given some exercises, so you try to draw these shapes at home and see whether you are comfortable about these shapes. So I may not do these things in the class, I may try this one, uh, but other tools you can try at home on the exercises. Now we'll look at start center length method. What is meant by length? Length is the arc length from starting point to end point. This is the length. So here length can be measured this way or this way. So depending on the length, the way you measure the length, your arc shape is different. So this is a minor arc, this is a major arc. So both shares the same coordinates, center point same, starting point same, but the length is also same, but you will get two different arc shapes. So if I try to practice this example with the coordinates, I'll show you how it works. So we will start center length method. First starting point is 3 comma 1, 3 comma 1. Center point is 2 comma 2. Mind you, you have to switch off the dynamic input. So come here and switch off the dynamic input because we give absolute coordinates. So we will repeat the arc command, and mind you, when you repeat the arc also, it will repeat the first one. So we have to repeat this one. Start center length, start 3 comma 1, center 2 comma 2, and the length is 2. So when you draw this, give the inputs, you will get this arc shape. So if you try to measure the length, say we'll use the quick measuring tools, it's not showing, so we will just use the normal distance method. From here to here it shows you 2, so it has drawn the minor arc. Suppose if you want to draw the major arc, how can you draw it? So if I do the same example again, start center length, start is 3 comma 1, center is 2 comma 2, length this time we have to give minus 2. So if you give minus value as the length, you will get a major big arc. So remember how it comes. You have to give the length as a minus value in AutoCAD. If you give plus value, it's a small minor arc. Negative value, minus value, you get a major arc. So I hope you understood the difference. Now we have another set of arcs drawing tools. So here starting point is same, but center point, this method we are giving center point. Suppose if you don't know the center point and if you know the end point, this method is ideal. So for an example, you may have a drawing without the center point. So if I just draw a rough sketch, so this drawing doesn't show you a center point. So if you want to draw an arc, use this method now. Start center, start end angle. So starting can be given, ending can be given. Now I can change the angle. So if you want to get a semicircle, it's 180 degrees, exactly 180 degrees. So if you give more than 180 degrees, what will happen? Starting, if I give more than 180, say 270, this is your arc. So this angle is now 270 degrees. You see the center point moves. Earlier center point was here. The center point travels here because you cannot change the end point and the starting point. When we change the angle, the center point travels. So if you just give less than 180, say something like 90 degrees, this is your shape. So when you try to give around 0 degrees, it will try to draw a straight line, but we see whether it's going to work. So if I just try to give 0, it's not going to work. So 0 is invalid. So then it becomes a line. So you can give a 0. More than 0 you can give. So I hope you understood this method also. Now let's look at the next method, start and direction. What do you mean by direction? Like if you know the starting, you know the ending point. If you want to look at the starting point in a certain direction and start, this method is ideal. Say suppose if you have a point here and if you want to look at that point and start the arc, that maybe this tool may be very easy. So if I show you the idea, so if I take this tool start and direction, if I just start an arc like this and endpoint is like this, in the direction, say I want to look at this point and get the tangency. So starting point is tangent to this, starting direction is tangent to this point. So this is the arc shape. So if you just try and do this one, start and direction, and if you select this point as the direction, you see the arc shape is different. So depending on the point you want to look at, say suppose you are designing a road, then you want to look at an advertisement or a statue here and take the bend. So this method will be ideal. So this road is better to look at this point, and the second road is better to look at this point. So the direction tool is working in that way. So you can just look at some certain direction and get the bend. And there's another one called start and radius. So suppose if you know the radius of this arc exactly, if you know the radius, you can draw a semicircle. So this is not heavily used. If you know the radius exactly, you can give it. So you just give the starting, ending and radius. You can get that arc shape. So I hope you understood these three also. Now the next three talks about without the giving the center point as the first command. So start center end, center start end is almost similar, but the sequence is different. Here we give starting, here we give center, but it's the same command. So some guys may like to draw the center point first and start. So like the normal manual classes, so I can draw the I can locate the center starting, and in this, just like you draw it in manual class. So we give the center point, starting end, center start angle, same tool, center start angle. Here I can control. Now if I delete this, start center angle, center start angle, center starting angle, I can control. Say I give 90 degrees, it's a quarter a circle. So this is 90-degree arc. So I hope you understood this also. Center start length is similar to start center length. So you only difference is you give the center point first. Now this is another one called continue tool. So continue will continue from the previous point you left. If you just try to continue, it's continuing like this. So if you have a empty drawing, this continue tool will work or not. It will not work. No lines or arcs to continue. So you have to have a line or an arc to continue this tool. So continue. We can go and draw a line again. I'm trying to draw a slot shape and continue. So this continue tool has to have a previous line or an arc to continue. So I hope you understood all these methods. When we do tutorials, we may use these things, so you will be get more familiarity. Now next we look at, so these tutorials I'll try to practice later. Now next look at the polygon and other tools. So I'm going to look at first the polygon tool. So if you check our chapter number 5, sorry, chapter number 3, we have two kinds of polygons available in AutoCAD. One is called circumscribed polygon, other one is called uh, inscribed polygon. So the difference between these two are, inscribed polygon always goes inside a circle, so draws inside a circle. Circumscribed polygon will share the circumference. So it have both these circles have the same radius. So mind you, when you draw the polygon shapes, be careful. Even though the same radius, same number of sides, the polygon size may be different. So I'll show you with an example how it works. So if I draw a simple circle, say radius 5. Now this circle is having radius 5, diameter 10. So then I'm going to draw a polygon for this. So I'm drawing this circle just to show you the concept. No need to draw a circle. So polygon tool, here I'll give minimum number of sides I can have is 3. When you exceed number of sides, say around 15, you will see a polygon as a circle. So depending on the radius and the number of sides, sometimes you may see the polygon as a circle. So here I'm going to just have side 6 side polygon hexagon, and it says specify the center. Center is this. Then inscribe or circumscribe, say inscribe. Now it will ask you the radius. So if I just give radius as 5, this is your inscribe polygon. So it's the same radius here. It will be inside the circle. And if you repeat this for the circumscribe polygon, number of side 6, center point, and I say circumscribe, radius is this time the same radius, say 5. So this is the circumscribed polygon I am getting. So it will all these shares the same parameters, same center, same radius, same sides. But you see the size different. There's a big size difference. So when you design a part or a building any other drawing from polygons, please be careful with this concept. So you will get a wrong output if you don't care about the circumscribe and inscribe methods. Then if you have something like this, if you have a line only, And if you want to create a polygon from this line without knowing the radius, without knowing the number of sides, we can do. So if you, sorry, without knowing the center and without giving circumscribe or inscribe methods, I can draw polygon. So number of sides actually we have to give 6, and there's a method called edge here. So I'm going to use this edge to draw a polygon. So if you have an edge, it can be used to create a polygon. So if I repeat the concept, number of sides 6, we try to draw, sorry, number of side 6, edge. So this is the polygon I can draw. So this is like a honeycomb. So if I repeat it, 6, edge. So quickly we can draw a polygon without specifying the radius and the circumscribe or inscribe options. So that's about polygon. I hope you understood the concept. Next we'll look at ellipse. I'll come back to the rectangle later because rectangle has a lot of options. So ellipse tool we'll look at quickly. So in ellipse you have to understand some keywords. This line is called major line, this is called minor line. So if you have two major line and minor lines, you can draw an ellipse. So the difference between ellipse and the circle is ellipse has two radiuses, r1 and r2. If r1 and r2 are same, it's becoming a circle. So the difference is the difference in the radius. So I'll just show you how it works. So the first method is called center point method. So I have to give the center, then I have to give first radius r1, and I can give another, say, r2 radius. So this can be specified like this or even so r2 radius. So I gave uh, r1 and r2. So there are other ways. If you know the endpoints without knowing the center point, ellipse can be drawn. Say for an example, if I want to draw ellipse shape here, just use axis and options, give two axes, two options and two endpoints, and give the r2. So this is another way of drawing the ellipse. So there's another ellipse called elliptical arc. So these arcs are circular arcs. Now this is elliptical arc. So it has an ellipse shape. So if I draw it, specify axis endpoints or center method. So both are working, no problem. Say if I give axis endpoints, you have to first complete the ellipse shape. Then you have to give the starting angle. So starting angle can be mouse click from here, and I can finish like this. So it depends on the way you start and end. So this is, I started from here and ends here. So first you have to draw a normal ellipse, then give the starting and ending angles, then you can draw an elliptical arc. So I hope you understood the concept of ellipse also. Next we'll look at, so we have a rectangle tool left. We'll quickly look at it in a while. Now we look at how to draw rectangles in AutoCAD. So normally we use the line tool to draw rectangle shapes, but if you want, you can have this tool, readily available tool is there. So rectangle method, there are a lot of options coming out. So chamfer and fillet theories I haven't done still. So before I will come back to the rectangle tool again after I discuss the chamfer and fillets. For the time being, we'll skip the chamfer and fillets and discuss the other rest of the tools in rectangle tool. Uh, so the rectangle, it asks you to give the first corner and it asks you to give the second corner. So you can type the coordinates and give the two corners. Suppose if you don't know the second point, sometimes there are cases you don't know the second. So you can give area of the rectangle. So if you know the area of the rectangle, uh, it can be input as a as a parameter. So I can give say 120 square units, and it will ask you the length or the width of the rectangle. Say I'll give say length as 10, 12. So it automatically calculates you the width. So if I just measure it, you see I gave the area as 120, length I gave, width automatically calculated by the software. So if you want to measure the area, there is an area tool available here. So you can cover this rectangle like this and measure the area. Still this is working, so you have to press the total button to show you the area and the perimeter. So if you try to get an area of a circle, it may be somewhat difficult. So area of a circle, we have to use the nearest options, and we have to cover the circle as much as possible from this line segment. So this may give you an error. We are omitting this. So to avoid that, you have an arc tool available here, but it's also not very flexible. So you may get an error again. So to get area of a round object, the easiest way is using this object method. So object method, and if this is a polyline drawn by a polyline, or this one, you can quickly get an area from the object method 120. So if I just repeat it, area object, I just select this object, quickly it will show you the circumference and the area. So remember this object option. If it is drawn from a polyline, you can do it. So these are actually polylines. This is kind of a polyline. Even though it's a circle, it's a block. So whatever the things you have used, you have drawn from blocks, you can quickly use the area of object method in areas and get the area quickly. So that's an additional thing I told. Sometimes in the exam we may ask you to calculate the area, so please remember how to calculate the area. Now next, there is a next, there were several options available. First corner given, without knowing the area, or if you know the dimensions like length and width, we can draw a rectangle quickly. Say length is 13, width is 9, so you can draw 4 rectangles this time. So this can be measured this way, length or this way, width this way, this way. So you have 4 options to draw a rectangle. Then we have a rotational rectangle. Rather than using rotation tool here, if you want, you can rotate the rectangle and draw say 45 degrees. And now I can go back to this area dimensions, or just use the normal second point and draw the rectangle. So you can draw the rectangle before while it's rotating. So that's a handy tool. Other than that, if you don't use that rotational tool now, you can just use it later from this modification method. So there are, I will discuss chamfer and fillets later. There are 3 other methods available: elevation, thickness and width. If you just click here and start to draw, you will not get these options back. So remember, you will not get the options back. You just start to draw. So before you start to draw, you have to select the options. What is this elevation? Elevation is, we are elevating the rectangle. Say if I just press 10 and draw a rectangle, you may not see the difference, but when you go and check the home positions, and if you look at 3D, in a 3D mode, you see there is an elevation here. So I elevated the rectangle by 10 units. It's not in the XY plane anymore, it's going along, it's on the Z axis now. So remember that option also. So we can use this view cube and get that home position. Then there is another tool called thickness. So the thickness is, we say if I give a thickness say 10 and draw the rectangle, you will not see a difference. But if you come here and get the 3D mode, you see a thickness coming now. So it's like a cuboid now. So we have given a 3D shape. So I give a thickness say 20 and draw a rectangle. Now I'm drawing something like a 3D shape rectangle. So remember that also in our syllabus we don't talk about 3D shapes, but remember there's option in AutoCAD to draw rectangles in a 3D shape easily. Then there's another tool called width. Width is the line width. So if I say specify say 5 and draw a rectangle, this rectangle is drawn with the line width of 5. So one way of giving a width is you can use the layers and give the width from the layers, or else you apply with parameter to the rectangle and get the rectangle shape with some thick lines. So I hope you understood the concepts of rectangle. We look at chamfer and fillet options later in our next video when we talk about chamfer and fillet tools. So we have some tools left here. We didn't discuss construction line, ray lines, and some of the things are obvious, so I may not go through all the things. Multiple points also we will discuss, and we have to discuss the donut tool. So we will discuss those things in the next video. So I hope you understood the concepts talk today. So have a good day. Bye.